The next minute you're about to watch is absolutely brutal. And if you think this guy is really introvert, please pay attention to my reaction.
Michael, when was the last time you approached a girl?
Well, today at the Daily Trail, actually, but before then, it was at least like 3 months ago.
And why did you start your introverted series on TikTok?
Well, I felt like the first couple of months I lived here, it was extremely lonely, and I really just wanted to get out and meet people.
An ick and a Dallas girl.
In a Dallas girl, well, I really haven't I haven't gone on any dates with the Dallas girls.
So for 5 years, from literally the time COVID started until I started making these videos, I stayed in the house. I didn't go out, and the only people that would ever know that would be my friends and family. And it was extremely difficult on my mental health and my life in general. I lost friendships over it because I would always turn down friends and not go out.
Good morning. My name is Michael, and this is a morning in my life of just a normal 27-year-old working in corporate. Join me.
Wow, that was brutal. And I'm going to cover it a little bit step by step for how this guy ended up as a self-identifying introvert. People like this do not end up by introverts by accident. You know, we can see immediately by this guy's appearance. First of all, he's a sub 5, and that's primarily on the fact that he's extremely overweight and he's balding. And, you know, due to both of these factors, he's 27, but he looks like he's, you know, mid 40s. And, you know, he talked about not going out of the house for approximately 5 years. People like this, they don't just not go out for 5 years. It's not just because COVID happened. It's because we all know what that sort of fat guy at the bar looks like. It's just a shameful thing to see. It's really saddening. And I do want to put a disclaimer out there. Like, I do feel really bad for the guy because he's trying to find meaning in life. He's coping one way or another. I mean, everyone who really isn't, you know, at the top in life is trying to cope and find meaning in life one way or another. But when you're self-destructing like this with your body fat, it's pretty bad. I mean, the copes only go further. And I can tell you right now that I can pretty much predict that if this guy's 27, he didn't go out for 5 years, he pretty much was probably, you know, maybe going to house parties or fraternity parties in college. And he was sort of like the guy that just got strung along. He really wanted to go to the party and drink. And that was pretty much his social interaction of maybe trying to gesture and make a fool of himself. But, you know, if he's claiming as an introvert his whole life, then he probably was the guy who just stood there and, you know, didn't really talk to anyone. And I do applaud him for trying this out. But I think anyone who really understands, you know, the desire of men to, you know, go out and meet girls and, you know, actually develop relationships and, you know, really fulfill their purpose in life, they can pretty much see between the lines. This guy is trying to use his social media as a platform to put himself out there and gesture a bit, market himself, and hopefully a girl finds him one day that sees him for who he really is. And this blue pill stuff, it really never ends well. His main priority should be improving his appearance because he's leaving a lot of cards on the table with his body fat and, you know, his hair loss. You really, with a sub 5 like this, you don't know what he could be like if he actually worked on those things. I would assume he's always been this way because you don't become the introvert guy by accident. You know, there's a very few people who go through life circumstances or have the ability to be impacted by a certain like life circumstance to where they just kind of become an introvert. And this guy clearly is showing the ambition to want to go out there and meet people. So therefore, you're telling me you're not an introvert. That's just your way of marketing yourself as the guy who isn't like the loser, the guy who's never really been picked. And because someone with that appearance, they're never going to get positive treatment by default. Whereas you take attractive people and they're going to get a significantly different experience in life. And normies are going to get, a normal experience, and they're going to, cope or, manage life one way or another. But for this guy, it's just brutal to see that girl, an attractive girl, interview him and ask him why he started an introverted series, because a lot of girls are just so out of touch with this. She clearly knows this guy's extremely unattractive and he's a sub 5, but it's out of her even reality to not think like, yeah, this guy has not approached a girl in months, and I doubt he ever even really approached one. He's probably thinking of some moment in his head where he maybe asked a girl a question in like a store when he was buying something. Like I don't really think he really approached. And that's one story. And then she asked him about what his like red flags or icks were in the girls in his city. And keep in mind, this guy's at a dating event, and he just admits that like he hasn't been on a date with a girl in that city, and it's brutal. He's going through corporate life, trying to find meaning in meeting people, and this is just this tough reality to how far things have gotten in the West. And this guy can make improvements, but each day that goes by, it's only going to get harder for him. And the sooner you know about how to actually looks max and really develop a strategy for yourself that's going to get you results or find a way to get meaning out of life, you have to find that immediately is start applying it. Or at least do something that's going to work in the moment, because for a guy like this, he's hitting all the sort of T's on ways of trying to get fulfillment out of everything in life except a relationship or just going on dates and meeting girls, when we know that's going to be probably the most fulfilling thing. Because not only is he trying to do the jester maxing on social media, trying to go out and meet people, do events, do it the natural way, but he also has a dog. And that's just brutal. And the guy's overweight, and it's going to be really tough for him because he's probably been overweight, his whole life. I know. Well, I looked at some of the other Instagram stuff. He drinks. He's clearly not healthy, and he has no discipline. But a guy like this, like, it's going to be hard to put down the food when you're alone at night and you're just thinking like, what is my life going to be like 40 years from now? So stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to be covering, more sort of videos like this on the more, psychological society side. And I'm going to be giving out some more practical advice on all of these topics. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.